this is Dan Faschingbauer from videopizzazz. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to create an Aweber form and insert that onto a Convertri landing page. Alright, so I'm going to go over to Convertri. There's currently a graphic area here for collecting data. Your business name, your email, your phone number, and create my free video. But currently, that's all this is just graphics. It's not linked to anything to actually make this work. We need to link this to an Aweber form so that we can collect this information. Now, one thing Convertri offers you is they have this forms feature here, and they have an API for autoresponders. And Aweber is one of them. And you can click on Aweber and you can integrate it. I'm gonna get out of this. But the issue with the Aweber API is by default, it only allows you to enter in a name and an email. It only allows you 2 fields by default. So if you want to add more fields like we're doing here, where we're going to end up with 4 different fields, we need to actually create a form ourselves in Aweber and then copy that HTML code from Aweber and put this on this page here. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to go over and log into our Aweber account, and I'm going to create a new list. So I'm going to click on Manage Lists, click on Create a List, and then when I set up my Aweber account, I set up all this information here. I set up my company name, my company website, my address, my sender name, and my sender email address. So I can click on Next Step. Now we want to name our list. I'm going to call this Eau Claire Businesses. And it says briefly describe the emails your subscribers are going to receive. I'm just going to put in here videopizzazz is here to help you succeed with your marketing in 2020. Click on Next Step. Language is going to be English. I'm just going to leave the subject line as confirm your subscription. I'm going to leave this alone for right now. Click on Approve Message and Create List. Alright, so once my list is created, it shows up here as my current list, Eau Claire Businesses. Alright, so now that we have a list created, we can create a sign up form for that list. So make sure that this current list is set to the list that you want to work with, and click on Sign Up Forms. Scroll down and click on Create Sign Up Form. Now when I scroll down here, I'll see that there is a form already sitting here, and you'll notice that it just has the name and email fields. And that's what I was discussing before, is if you use the API connection from Convertri to Aweber, you will just get this default form here, which only allows you to input a name and email. But that's not what we want to do today. We want to have this form here match our Convertri form. So we want your business name, your email, your phone number, and then the button is going to say create my free video. So let's go back over to Aweber. Alright, so I'm going to come up here and click on create a new custom field, and I'm going to call this business. Click on next, and it's going to be text input. Let's see if we can edit this to say your business name. Click on save fields. Another field we want to add here is do your phone number. Click on next. It's going to be a text input, and click on save. Now we want to change the submit button here. Click on edit, and we're going to call this create my free video. Click on save field. Now we can stretch this form out so that it'll say create my free video all on one line. So we'll grab this guy here and stretch this out until it says create my free video. So now we'll notice that this button here is gray, and this is, I'm not sure what color this is, kind of a greenish aqua, I don't know. So anyway, I'm going to use I have a built-in color picker with my Chrome browser, so I'm going to select this guy here and click here. And then when I hover over this, it changes the color and it'll give me the color code. So I'm going to click on that, and it says copy to clipboard. So if I come back over here, I can select this button come up here and click on color background, and then here I can take this out and Control V, put in the color code that I just grabbed from my landing page, click on OK. And now if I scroll down, now it should have the same background color that's on my Convertri landing page. So the name here is already set to required. The email field is always required, so you don't have an option with that. So if I click on this guy here, there's not even an option. That is always required. I want to make sure I get their email address, so I don't want to tick them off and annoy them asking them too many questions. So for business name and phone number, I'm going to leave those optional. They don't have to enter in these two forms of information in order to submit the form. They don't know that, but all they really have to do is enter in their name and email and hit create my free video, and the form will submit. So if I click on edit pencil here, I'm not going to say it's required. You could add some text in this header area here if you wanted to, but since I want to try to make it as close looking to this as possible, I'm going to just remove it. So I'm just going to click on delete. And then the footer, I'm going to remove that too. So I'm just going to click on delete the footer. So here's my Aweber form. It's not in the same order as Convertri, but I think that's fine as long as I have the fields. And if you really want to get fancy, you can use one of these templates up here and get a really fancy opt-in form with graphics and all that kind of stuff. But this is just a quick tutorial to show you how to integrate with Aweber. Alright, so once we got this far here, I'll click on save your form. So for the web form, I'll also just call it Eau Claire Businesses. Then for the thank you page, I use the pull down here, and I'll click on custom page, use your own URL. Alright, so then what I need to do is go back over to Convertri. I'm going to exit out of this. So I'm going to bring up my Eau Claire thank you page here. I'll click on that. And it's not published yet, so I need to publish it. So I'll click on publish, and I'll call it Eau Claire thank you. Click on publish. Alright, so now it says it's published, so I can view the page. Here's my URL. Copy this, come back over here, and I'll paste in the URL of my thank you page. And you can open this in a new window if you want. I'm not going to. You can also have another custom page if they already opted in. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to leave it as basic version. Click on save your form. Click on go to step 3. Alright, so now you have 3 options. One option says I will install my form. Next one, it says my web designer will install my form, but since you're the web designer with Convertri, you're going to be doing it. Or you can use my form as a landing page. So what we want to do today is we want to install our own form. So we'll click here, click on Raw HTML Version tab, and this is the code here that we want to use. So I'm going to click here and scroll down. I'm going to select all of this HTML code and click on copy it. Now that we have this raw HTML code selected or copied, we can come back over to Convertri, and on this left hand column here there's something called HTML element. Select that, and then this pops up here and this pops up here. So you can click over here, click on edit HTML, and it says insert your code here. Click here, Control V to copy that code in there, and click on save. And then boom, your form from Aweber pops up in here. And then you can stretch it out. So here's the deal. Here's your form from Aweber, and here's the text that was on your landing page. Now, of course, they don't look identical, but you could go back into Aweber and probably make something that looks exactly like this. You could have rounded corners on these guys. You could make the buttons transparent so the purple shows through. You could do all that stuff if you wanted to. But just for this demo here, I'm going to just delete all this stuff. So I'm going to select it, hit delete, select, delete, select, delete, select, delete, select, delete, and I'm going to move this guy over here. This should be able to collect your information now for Aweber. So this is not published yet, so we're going to have to come over here and click on save and click on publish, and I'll call this landing page. For the URL, I'll call it Eau Claire free video. Click on publish, and it says it's published. View page. Alright, so now it shows everything here. Alright, so now let's test this. So let's call this Dan Test. Put in our email address, business name, best business, our phone number, and click on create my free video. Alright, so it submitted my data to Aweber, and then it automatically redirected me to my thank you page here. Alright, so it seems to have worked okay, but let's verify. Let's go back to Aweber now. Scroll up. Now if I click on manage lists, Eau Claire businesses, subscribers, I'll see the name and email. And if I want to see the information in the other fields, I have to click on the name, and then that expands this information here out, and then here's the business name and here's the phone number field that got populated. Alright, so there's probably many different ways of getting the Aweber web form to work properly on a landing page, but this is one way I got it to work with Convertri, is to actually create my own form and then copy the HTML code and put that HTML code on my form, and then everything seemed to be working okay after that. Alright, so I hope you found this a useful video for integrating Aweber web forms into Convertri, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.